The man saved a little orphan. Every evening after work, he returned home along the same road that passed near the forest. That day, the man worked until 7 p.m., so when he was walking home, it was already dark outside. Suddenly, he heard a strange noise coming from the bushes near the road. The sounds were like a pitiful squeak, as if someone was in trouble and desperately calling for help. Alex headed toward the source of the sound and was very surprised to see, next to an unfinished building, a little bear cub who seemed to have just recently been born. The poor thing was sitting with its paws tucked under itself, trembling with fear and squeaking pitifully. Alex became alert because there could be an aggressive mother bear nearby. But several minutes passed and the bear mother never appeared. The man realized that the cub was left without its mother, who may have been killed by hunters or some illness. Alex had a kind heart and knew that he couldn't leave the tiny cub to its fate. The man gently took the baby in his arms and carried it home. The little furry creature immediately felt safe, stopped trembling, and calmed down in the cozy, warm jacket. When Alex brought the cub home, he immediately poured warm milk into a bowl and mixed in a little sugar. The man put the bowl on the floor, and the bear cub crawled up to it on all fours and began greedily lapping up the milk as he was very hungry. It seemed the baby had been without its mother for a long time. Out of despair, it left the forest and headed toward the city. Alex stroked the cub's soft fur and decided to keep him at home, realizing that the helpless baby would not survive alone in the wild. The man named his new unusual pet Archie. The bear cub quickly got used to his kind owner. Alex had a dog named Stella, a sweet mutt with kind eyes. At first, Stella was wary of Archie when the man first brought him into the house and growled at the furry creature. But after a few days, the dog realized that Archie was just a tiny, defenseless baby who really lacked maternal love and care. Only a couple of weeks passed, and the two pets were already happily running around the yard near the house. Stella would run away, and Archie would hobble after her on his little funny paws. Sometimes they would crash into each other while running, and the bear cub would fall to the ground and then get up and keep running as if nothing had happened. Every few hours, Alex fed Archie with milk from a bottle with a nipple. The bear cub eagerly drank it all, and even sucked on the empty bottle, trying to extract more. He was growing bigger and bigger. Soon, Alex had to buy meat cans for adult dogs, which Archie gobbled up greedily. When Archie turned 3 months old, he was the size of a large dog. The bear cub clearly outgrew the small house. Toys flew in all directions, and furniture was knocked to the floor from the running and playing of the pets. Alex understood that soon he would have to release the bear back into the forest where he belonged. It wasn't an easy decision because the man had grown very attached to Archie as if he were his own, but he understood perfectly that it would be better for the bear to live free in the wild than in a small house. A couple of weeks later, Alex loaded the significantly grown Archie into his car and took him back to the forest, to the thick bushes closer to the place where he once found the cub. On the way, the bear cub was very nervous and crawled all over the seat, whining pitifully. The pet sensed that his owner was taking him far away. Finally, they reached the place where thick bushes grew along the forest edge. Alex took the heavy Archie out of the car and placed him on the grass in a small clearing. The man had tears in his eyes as he hugged his furry friend one last time. Archie also seemed to understand everything and let out a pitiful whine, then ran into the forest, dropping fir cones and branches as he ran. In a few seconds, he disappeared into the thicket, wagging his short tail. Alex watched after his unusual pet for a long time, hoping that he would be able to adapt and survive in the wild. 3 years passed since the day Alex released Archie back into the forest. All this time, the man remembered his furry friend and missed him. They had been so close, and now Alex could only wonder what had become of Archie. The man hoped that his big furry friend had managed to cope on his own. One sunny evening, when Alex returned from work, he heard a strange noise from the backyard. Stella, who had remained his faithful pet all these years, barked loudly and ran out the back door. Alex followed her to find out what was happening, as he wasn't expecting any visitors today. Right by the house, near the garbage cans, stood a huge brown bear on its hind legs, staring intently at the man. Alex froze in place in horror, as bears never came this far into the city. The man tried not to move, hoping not to provoke aggression from the huge predator. However, that didn't help, and the bear headed straight toward the man. Alex nearly screamed in terror, but at that moment he suddenly recognized in the bear his old friend Archie. It turned out that standing in front of him was the same funny little bear cub he once picked up, only now grown into a real fearsome predator. Archie also recognized Alex. He let out a joyful growl and came right up to his old friend. The man tensed up because he didn't know what to expect from the huge predator. However, Archie wasn't going to harm the man. The animal gently hugged the man with his mighty paws, just as he did in childhood. Then Archie gently pressed his snout to Alex's chest and began licking his face with his big, rough tongue. Seeing this, Stella barked even louder, but Alex calmed her down with a gesture. The man finally realized that the bear had no intention of attacking him. He had come specifically to say hello to the kind friend who once saved his life. Deeply moved, Alex went to the fridge, took out all the suitable food for a bear, and brought it to Archie. The bear happily devoured the food, smacking his lips at the man. And at that moment, Alex didn't see a huge forest predator, but a little bear cub and his friend. Archie nudged the man with his snout again, then leisurely headed toward the forest, while the emotional Alex and Stella watched him go. Alex was incredibly happy that Archie had managed to survive and adapt in the forest, which meant that all his efforts were not in vain. Alex never saw his big forest friend again, but the unforgettable day of their joyful reunion remained forever in the man's memory. Did you enjoy the video? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload.